Welcome to NinonSpeaks. I'm Mindy Dougherty, and I'm going to be your host for the next half an hour. I have a wonderful young lady with me, and I was just asking her, because I don't pre-interview, and I was just asking her a couple of things. I said, what's most important to you as to what you do? And she seems to have quite a few things. We've got stem cells going, we've got books, we've got military, we've got drama as a nurse, and we've got everything. Mindy, hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I think you sound absolutely fascinating, because I'm very used to interviewing people in the entertainment business, but you're kind of on the entertainment business on another side of life,
Yes.
keeping life going.
Yes, I actually am a trauma nurse and went into this field, not accidentally, but as a way to get my emotions out after some horrible things happened at a VA hospital that I write about in my book.
So what you're talking about, yes, your book sounds fabulous, but let's get into these horror stories that you kind of went through at the drama center. Were these horror stories caused by the hospital, or were they caused by the individual person that created them or got them?
Sure. So I actually have pictures of what happened at the VA. It was the San Antonio VA hospital in San Antonio.
Was this something that happened to you?
Yes, this was something that happened to me. I had a left bilateral ankle fracture that they just didn't take care of, basically, and I'm diabetic. And they had given me over 100 grams of sugar at one point in time, which can throw a diabetic in actually a coma because the blood sugars go so high. And then they were waiting and waiting for me and not feeding me properly. So then my blood sugars would drop. So that can also cause you to go into a coma. So my brain ended up having a lot of trauma, and I've been having to raise my leg up. I was bedbound for 3.5 years and in a wheelchair.
You know, this is funny you should tell this story. A friend of mine's daughter just died in a hospital for something, and she had a car accident, and I believe it was a leg problem. And she had to go back into the hospital, and went back into the hospital and had a similar thing to what you're talking about. I don't know exactly the dynamics of it, but she died in hospital.
Wow.
She's a 34, 37-year-old young girl.
Yeah, I'm 45 and I've been declining. So at this point, I've literally been declining to the point where my osteoporosis is at stage 4. And the doctors are basically, the pain doctors literally placed me on no free weights, which for me has been hard because I've lifted weights since I was 10, but I've had bulging discs, and now I've got herniated discs from what happened also at the VA hospital. So there's multiple things that happen at the VA hospital that I talk about in my book. And I also want stem cells to show that it can reverse a lot of things that I have and make me healthy again, and also reverse aging as well.
No joke or no pun intended, but yes, I'll take the cells that make you younger.
Exactly, right? Anybody, right? So in Colombia, what happens in America?
Put a little edge on this disaster, because we're making a little happy party.
Free facelifts without injections. So
there you go. But so how long were you in the military, and why did you go into the military?
So I actually went in the military for 4 years, and I was a military medic at the time. It was called 91 Bravo, and it was EMT at the time. And so I'd gone in about 4 or 3 days after high school. And I wanted to be in the best trauma state because I thought that I wanted to be a trauma doctor or be a trauma nurse at that time. And so I know I wanted to be in the trauma field. And so the best way I could get there, if there was a war that had broken out like Iraq at the time, because I went in 95. I went in Bosnia, Croatia, and Hungary, ended up getting a parasite, and then had appendicitis and pancreatitis. So I had pancreatitis for 8 years. And so they took out my pancreas, my gallbladder, appendix, and duodenum because of the thing.
But don't you need your pancreas? Isn't that kind of your digestive system?
Well, some people do, and I've proven medically that you don't need it because I don't actually have it anymore. And so I'm a diabetic by default, which also is increasing the metabolic, meaning I don't absorb nutrients to get the stem cells, because what they do is they put umbilical cord stem cells back into that actual vertebral area and in throughout my body so that I can literally regenerate these stem cells and possibly reverse the osteoporosis so that I can at least extend my life a good 5,
And
10
you can become a normal person again, of who Mindy started out with. I mean,
Well,
before.
and that would be amazing because I have a lot of brain trauma from a lot of blows to the head, kind of like a fighter actually,
Wait
or
a second,
even
how did you get blows to the head?
from the trauma that I explain in my book. Unfortunately, I grew up in a very toxic childhood, and I talk about that as well. I survived my brother and being assaulted and raped at 10 years old, being gang raped, and then being raped again as an adult. So I think I've survived so many things, to be honest with you, and that's why my book is called A Resilient Warrior.
You know,
And,
it's fun. Yeah, that was beautiful. You're beautiful there.
thank you very much.
It's funny how you went into the drama of it, and you wanted to take care of people's drama, and it was probably because of your own drama you went through, and you actually felt that you could help, because drama is something to try to consult somebody, ease their pain mentally, verbally, actually, and sort of, you know, get them back to a nice way of thinking, or a better way of thinking than what they're thinking, what they've been through. And you were a prize example. You did not need a book to actually, or you did not need any education actually to do this, did you?
Well, I did need education because
But yeah, because legally you have to have that. Yeah, but
well,
you went through the
I'm a
process.
trauma nurse and interventional radiology nurse. However, it's afforded me the opportunity to be able to write this book. And so had I not had all these experiences happen, I wouldn't be able to write this book. And the book has actually saved my soul. And so that's how I've been able to communicate with people, because they're like, can you please just write a book about your story? Like, just give us like your story. And I said, all right. And what made me actually write this book is my grandmother had asked me 20 years ago. And so when she started declining into dementia, I really kick-started it. And when she read it, the last thing she said before she had gone into dementia was, I'm so proud of you. And I read your book in one day on my birthday. And so I think everything is coming to.
That kind of made you feel good, didn't it? Didn't it make you feel proud and good after all the dramatic things you've been through?
Yeah, I've also created a company called Feed My City at www.feedmycity.net. So
that's a large task to take on. I mean, you're not feeding a village, you're feeding a city.
Well, actually, this actually went international. And so people have taken on the concept of one seed, one plant, and one garden at a time. Where I grow for myself and I get to grow for other people, I give free eggs away from my chickens that are all organic and all for free, basically.
Where do you live?
I live in Oregon.
In Oregon, a shame. I come and get free eggs from you.
I give you, I
was brought up on a farm, so I know all about milk.
Oh, nice.
Cow. I know all about a lot of stuff from farms, and eggs especially, because that's how kind of part of my life I grew up with. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And actually, you know, when you think about it, this must be something that keeps you alive and keeps you healthy, eating all this healthy food.
Right.
And you're able to have your own food. Do you also have a garden with vegetables and all that stuff? I bet you do.
I do. I have a garden with vegetables. I've also got almost 12 or 13 fruit trees. I've got cherry trees, a peach tree, apple trees, Asian pears. And I also wanted those to grow, but didn't realize that when I put them in as a baby that they were going to take like 5 or 6 years to grow, like actually grow fruit. So in the future, like I would love to give my fruits away as well. And so I do this for profit and ask for donations, and whatever people give, they give, because I feel like it's coming from my heart, and that's the best I can do.
Yeah. So do you actually work? Do you have a job, or are you creating? Because obviously you get disability for a lot of stuff that you've gone through. So with all this disability, and then we've got this garden going and everything else, and it's tomato season is coming in, I think. So I'm going to get looking at a lot.
I actually don't work. I actually only use my disability money to help my garden thrive and give food away.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So you survive on what you actually get, and you're actually giving back an awful lot of What do you feel right now? Because we've got pandemics, we've got all sorts of crazy stuff going on.
Sure.
And, you know, it seems to be the inflation is really bad. What direction do you see us going into? Because it's
Well, with $7 gas, I see us all meditating really quickly, you know, but I really feel like if we
meditating means you're not going to be out driving and going to save gas.
Correct. The gas guzzlers are like, however, I feel like honestly, if we raise above what's going on, like maybe if we just energetically raise ourselves up a little bit to counterbalance what's going on and really look inside ourselves and really grow from a deeper level and really get spiritual, then maybe we can rise above the pandemic and it can really start to help each other thrive. Like maybe one person can help another. Like for me, I don't think I'm going to be here for the next 20, 25 years. If I get stem cell, we can
reverse. Well, neither am I, so that makes two of us.
No, so I got, you know, as many years as we've got, and I'd love to, you know, try to reverse everything that they can. But I'd also love to be that #1 show that like veterans can get a transition and get a lot of help, because with their traumatic brain injuries, we can help them with stem cells. And
I absolutely agree with you, but you said a statement. You said that why can't we better ourselves, and why can't we? I don't know if people out there realize that people actually did where we are now. It just didn't happen.
Correct.
People actually created where we are now. So if we created it, we can decreate it.
If we created it, we can get out of it, you know?
Absolutely. So what you're saying is absolutely right, because if we created this thing that we're now in this kind of mess that we all created, but nobody wants to admit they've created it. It's funny because
I'm sure I've had a part of it. I'll admit it.
I'm sure I have. It's this blame game we seem to have. We've always got this blame this one, blame this. It's never our fault, but it is our fault because we are individuals.
Collectively,
out there, and we did, whether I did it personally, beside the point. As people, we've all created this.
Oh, sure.
Because it seems like you can give a great message, Mindy. How can you get these people out there to change, to actually admit, and instead of trying to put somebody else down, why can't we start bringing somebody else up? How do we do that?
So in my heart of hearts, I genuinely believe if we thrive ourselves, and not saying, I really want people to understand this. It's not if I make it, then I'll help other people. Actually, it's where you're at right now, no matter where you're at. If you have, I remember being at the bottom of the barrel and still giving. So I don't understand when people say I don't have it to give. You know, we all have something when we want something. So when I say I go inside, I literally start creating a meditation so that we collectively get along. Like maybe if I didn't get along with somebody, I find out like their history and I say, you know, what is it about you that I didn't get along with? Because maybe I'm actually just more like you. And then I fess up to that and I say, you know what? Hey, in my past, I realized like I might have done this before, and I apologize. And I've become friends with people, you know, and say, I apologize for it. And they're like, it was a misunderstanding. So I think a lot of wars happen because of misunderstandings.
You know, that's such a great word you just said, misunderstanding, because I've always said to people, I don't hate anybody out there. It's just that some people I don't get on as well with other people. This doesn't make that person a bad person. That person is a livable person. That person is fantastic. The same as, I mean, they don't get on with me either. So we just, that doesn't mean to say that.
That's okay, you know. We're all not supposed to get along with each other.
No,
you know?
How can we? We can't. But we can try.
I do believe that there's a way to slip through and maybe become like water. So we all have like rocks. Okay, let's make a metaphor. Okay. Rocks are people, okay? We have these hard, rough rocks, okay? But what if I became water and just started to flow with, and again, against the aggressive people, I just kind of slid through that, said, thank you, have a good day. Let them go on with their path and then move on with people that are more collective like I am, so that we can powerfully collect more people, because the more people that you collect with, that you get along with.
In a positive way, yes.
Yeah. We can create a new environment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just with our mindsets, you know, with our people, with how we treat each other, with, I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Can we regroup and, you know, can we can we regroup? Like, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I thought, you said this, there's so many ways that we
Or
can
maybe
just,
they misunderstood. I remember with my husband, he'd be yelling and screaming at me, and I had no idea why he was yelling and screaming. I'd walk out and I said, I don't know what earth you're up to. And I came back and I said, I can do two things. I can either apologize or I can explain what I said. I
Sure.
said, but don't get angry at me for something. I don't even know what we're talking about. I don't even know what we're doing, and you're mad at me. And so he would explain, and I would then explain or apologize either way if he misunderstood me,
Right.
and maybe said it in a way and a tone that he didn't recognize or I shouldn't have done. I don't know. But I think we're a little bit short on our tempers. And I think, as you said, we need to understand a little bit more. We don't have to love them. We don't have to go out with them. We don't
Sure.
just understand them and just try
Well,
to.
for me, I definitely need to know how to respond versus react too, because
Yes.
I'm a little reactive sometimes, or a little teapot, like, oops, louder. Can I shove my foot back in my mouth like 1 minute later? Ooh, sorry. It's like a roller coaster, and you're up, and all of a sudden you're climbing on down, and all of a sudden you realize it all came back out.
So with your book, where can people find your book? Is it on Amazon, or where is it?
Actually on Amazon Prime and at www.feedmycity.net. So if you go to my site, then you can have the choice of getting an autographed copy, which I personalize.
Yeah.
And I actually send in the mail to each person, whatever state or country, because many countries, I'm in over 16 countries now. And so, yeah, it's been amazing. And I'd love to make my story into a movie so that other people can be inspired by literally getting my story out to show them that, like, there's nothing that you can't go through that can help you thrive again. If you
yes.
really
Would it be more of a documentary or would it be more of a movie?
Depends on how somebody script writes it.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's going to be you.
No, I'm kind of I'd love to be open with that because I love working with artists. And so if I'm closed-minded, then other things won't
happen.
So I think I'm going to let the universe just create with me.
Yes, I think that's a good idea, because you know why? You can do both. You can have the documentary and you can do both. And there's her book again. So you recognize that book. Absolutely amazing, incredible. Out of all the things you've done in your life, what is the most outstanding thing that you've done that you created and helped other people with?
Oh, wow.
Many things, right?
Medical disorders. And basically, because I'm a trauma nurse in my experiences, I've been able to help people get through their illnesses as well. I care so much that regardless of what movie or TV or any event that I do, I'm always going to have my book, and I'm always going to want to share my story or help people understand and better communicate with each other, because I want to help people thrive. Now,
I know you help a lot of veterans. Do you also help other people that are not veterans? Because it seems that the veterans are more dramatized, and obviously there's an obvious reason why.
Oh, sure. I help regular citizens as well. Matter of fact, I'm helping a friend's son who has different disorders and getting them contacts. So I am working with anybody who's basically disabled, has regenerative stuff that they want to work with, or if they have like autism, any of the issues, anything except cancer, basically. You can.
Yeah. What about, we've got a lot of people with a disorder of mentally being disordered, it seems.
Sure, that's why I'm actually going, because I want to find out if they can reverse my PTSD. I have really strong chronic PTSD, as well as a neurological issue that many people don't know about. It's called CRPS, or chronic regional pain syndrome. In World War II, it was called RSD. Now there's a nervous disorder that causes burning. And a lot of people actually have this burning disorder that doctors don't even know what's going on or like what it's causing. But stem cells and eating properly with our American diet is horrible. And so if we change our diet and we get federal regulations to actually change some things to get the nutrients to where people are actually more aware of what is going in their food and actually how much poison they're actually putting in their body, we can regenerate our stem cells. We can regenerate ourselves if we get better regulatory stuff that helps us get better access to medical care, because if our medical care is terrible, we're all going to die at some point, you know.
At some point, we're all going to die, but at the same time, let's try to live the life we have
Sure,
in
but
an
it's
orderly manner.
extending life to the better good, you know. It's like, why would you want to degenerate your mind to like dementia when what if you could halt that process 5 to 10 years?
Yeah,
right?
can you help dementia? Can that be balanced off? I mean, it seems like it's a disruption of balancing within your brain, within your head, which needs to be balanced out, and it doesn't. People.
And so I believe if we do stem cells, then it can actually regenerate. And I do believe that it can help dementia, because what they do is they take baby stem cells. And what this is, let me make this real clear. The cells come from a stem, like the umbilical cord, basically, that's getting blown away. That goes into the process of creating stem cells and it's called 0 day because it's a baby that just got born. Sure. So it's the healthiest of the health, like they check the mom and they do all the research. And so it's the healthiest of the healthy cells. They go back into you. And for me, I do believe that it can possibly reverse dementia, because you're giving it IV and it's going through the body, and it also can help that. There's also different processes that they can do for this. So I do believe stem cells can reverse this. And with me and my memory, that's the first thing that I will let you know once stem cells are given to me.
Yes.
Which my publisher is working on now. Once I'm done, then we'll see. You know, it's kind of like
I'm going to see the consequences. You're like I hate to say it, a guinea pig.
I don't mind. I've been a guinea pig actually for the government for over 17 years, and I'm a published medical researcher as well in the background. So I've done a lot of research with diabetic stuff and worked with the diabetes center and done pumps and stuff like that. So I've done a lot of research up until this point. So I'm really proud of where I'm at.
You should be very proud of yourself. Unfortunately, we've reached the time that we have to close out. Again, how can anybody get hold of you, Mindy?
www.feedmycity.net or on Amazon Prime. I'm on social media hubs, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So you can reach me there. Mindy is my first name, Dougherty, Dougherty.
And also, how can they get the book? Same place?
At either that site, or they can go on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Okay, wonderful. Well, we've had an incredible interview. We've learned a little bit of the inside of our body, our brain, and also how other people deal with it and what they do with it. And does anybody really care out there? Well, if you don't care for your own body and you don't look after your own body, then nobody else will. So, just keep an eye on what you're doing. And if you are in a hospital, or you're going to hospital, or you've got a problem, just try to diagnose it yourself a little bit so that you understand exactly what is going on and what is happening. And if you feel uncomfortable about certain things doctors are doing, mention something. Don't be afraid to say something. It's your body, it's your place, you're the one that travels around with this thing, and this is all we have. I don't realize.
I think silence is the real killer. So I think please speak up.
So don't be silent. I love that. Thank you, Mindy. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, social media shows as well. And obviously Maria Pereza, who is my producer, and to everybody out there for supporting us on NinonSpeaks. NinonSpeaks is a program where we like to interview people like Mindy and get an idea of a little bit of science. I love it. The book is there. We'll be seeing you next time with our next guest. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome to NinonSpeaks. I'm Ninon Dougherty, and I'm going to be your host for the next half an hour. I have a wonderful young lady with me, and I was just asking her, because I don't pre-interview, and I was just asking her a couple of things. I said, what's most important to you as to what you do? And she seems to have quite a few things. We've got stem cells going, we've got books, we've got military, we've got drama as a nurse, and we've got everything. Mindy, hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I think you sound absolutely fascinating because I'm very used to interviewing people on the entertainment business, but you're kind of on the entertainment business on another side of life,
Yes.
keeping life going.
Yes. I actually am a trauma nurse and
Yes.
went into this field, not accidentally, but as a way to get my emotions out after some horrible things happened at a VA hospital that I write about in my book.
So what you're talking about, yes, your book sounds fabulous, but let's get into these horror stories that you kind of went through at the drama center. Were these horror stories caused by the hospital, or were they caused by the